Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at SynthMaster 3, which is finally officially released. Yes, so after a long time in development, SynthMaster 3 is now available. Okay, so I'll put links in the description below and you can go and check it out at their website. And they've got a sale on at the moment for it as well. So you might want to be checking that out and all. And don't forget also, if you are already one of their everything bundle subscribers, or not subscribers, if you've already bought the everything bundle, then SynthMaster 3 is included in that as well. We're going to take a good look at SynthMaster 3. I'm going to kind of take you through the basics so that you can kind of start building cool stuff. So once you understand the architecture of synth, you'll be good to go. Okay, so for anyone who's interested, the iOS version of SynthMaster 3 is scheduled for release in June 2025, so June next year. Okay, so in the meantime, you can learn all about it with their tutorials, of which you can find on YouTube, and also this one. Right, okie dokie, let's do this. So I just spent 10-15 minutes creating this very cool patch, which uses 4 layers here, and each layer has this. Layer 1 has 2 oscillators and a filter. Layer 2 is a patch from SynthMaster 1, and that means we can load SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2 patches onto different layers as well, if we want to, like I've done here. Then we have this one, which I think may be also a SynthMaster 1 patch, and this one here. So I'll explain how it works, but this is the kind of cool stuff you can do. Okay, so very cool, lots of stuff going on. We've got sequences going on, a couple of sequences, some split keyboard stuff. For example, if I look at this, I've split the keyboard here. If I look at this, I've split this keyboard down here. All sorts of cool stuff. So the easiest way to do this is I will go init preset, and we have got this. So a basic sine wave with a filter on it. Now, how SynthMaster 3 works is this. You have layers. You can have up to 16 layers, and each layer has an oscillator, but you can have up to 16 modules. So an oscillator is a module, a filter is a module, and then you can go in here and go add new basic oscillator, blah, blah, blah. You can add a modulator. So modulators are modules as well. And you can have 16 of those, up to 16 of them, per layer, and you have 16 layers. So incredibly powerful. You also have, for each layer has its own arpeggiator. If we look at here at the track view, you'll see we have a sequencer, an ARP, and then the voice controls and zone controls. This is on the kind of track view where you can see them all. But down here, you can also set up your sequences, your arpeggios and stuff like this. Okay, so this is oscillator 1. If I click on this here, it means I can directly edit that waveform now as well. So we can just pick this up here and make some changes to it. Let's just pick it up. Here we go. And then we can move points around. If we double tap, we can add a point in. So it's very easy to go and make custom waveforms. You also have, let's add another layer in, shall we? So let's add a new, we could choose basic oscillator, granular, virtual analog oscillator. Let's add one of those. And with this one, this behaves like an analog synth. So you can actually change the wave shape on screen here. Let's make a few adjustments to that, shall we? So we could go into, let's add a couple more voices to this oscillator. Let's go to voices and Maybe we've got a mixture of two oscillators. And this is custom waveform. However, we can kind of just randomize. We could switch that one off. We're just hearing this new one now. We could randomize again. Or we can scroll through different types of waveform, of which there are many. So we can also load in a multi-sample. We'll do that on a completely other layer. We'll load in a sample. So you build your sound. There's your amp envelope for the layer. Now you'll see that we have a filter here. And this filter you can see is represented in the routing here. We could take that filter out completely. We could say replace it with a virtual analog filter. We could add in, let's add in another filter. Let's add in a cone filter. And you'll see that because of the modular design, we'll need to connect this. We can connect it however we wish. Let's put it there. So now, an oscillator 2 we've created. Let's switch oscillator 2 back on. And this is still layer 1. We've created quite an interesting sound here, so. And again, we just make adjustments with our envelope to suit. Now, if we would like to add some effects to this, we could go and say, let's add a bit of a reverb in here. So a nice kind of lead sound. Let's make this kind of plucky. Let's take the sustain off. So we've got that kind of nice plucky sound now. We've got a couple of filters going on. Let's add in a wave shaper. And again, where do I want to put my wave shaper? I think I'll put it after oscillator 3. So let's go in here, let's drop it in. Got different types, maybe rectifier full. Now, if we go into our track view now, and or our mix view, actually, we can add in effects sends as well. Control our mix level and have a look at what effects we've got going on. So let's add in another layer, a complete new layer. We've got the oscillator added in. Let's add another layer now. So add new layer. Let's unmute it. Let's mute layer 1. And this time, let's add in a, let's see, let's go to layer 2, sorry. And I'm going to add another oscillator here, actually, and add in a, actually, no, I'll just stick with this one and go with multi-samples. I'll go new sample. Oh, no, sorry, I don't want to go new sample. Let me just close this. You can see it as a full sample editor as well. Sample multi-factory. I want to go to factory and see what we've got going on here. So let's see. These are all samples, by the way, so we can see what we've got. Maybe some brass. So add a couple of voices in there. I'm going to add in a delay on that. And also, I think a compressor. Let's bring the volume of this up a little bit. And maybe add in a wave shaper as well. So definitely going to put, I think I'll put this one in front. And I can just do this then. So here we go. So we've got this kind of very short stabby brass sample. If we look at our ARP now, switch it on. Now I can unmute layer 1. So we've got our kind of like plucky stabbed thing going on with oscillator 1 with layer 1, sorry, turn that back on. And on layer 2 we've got our arpeggiated brass. So yeah, let's we could add another oscillator in here as well. Actually, we could add a, say, I don't know, a wavetable oscillator. And let's have a listen to that. Let's solo this second layer. Let's turn off the first oscillator. And don't forget, this is going to be affected by our ARP because it's the same layer. Let's look at what we've got going on here. Factory basics. Route through the index. So let's add in an LFO module here. So LFO. And let's attach the LFO to the index. Okay, so I'm going to just pick this up, slap it on the index, slow it down. I'm going to set this to global, so it tracks through wherever I play. So bring back in oscillator 1. Okay. Okay, Okay, so let's go one step further with this particular patch. Let's add in another oscillator. So let's add in another layer, sorry. So we'll add a new layer. And this layer can be, what could this oscillator be? I'm on layer 3. I'm going to add in a new additive oscillator. Switch that first one off. And I'm going to solo this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to program a sequence. So like I said, all for per layer, you've independent arpeggiators and sequences. So let's go and have a closer look at the sequences, shall we? So I'm going to leave it set to 8 steps, but if I go over it, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to hit record like this, and I'm going to start inputting some notes here. So let me see, I'm just going to do a kind of a, okay, that's fine. Make sure I reset my steps to 8, and then when I press a key, get out of record, sorry. Again, I've added a couple more steps there. You must remember to reset the steps to what you want. Exit record. I'm playing one note now, so look. And now if I close my sequencer view, unsolo this. So I've got the kind of arpeggiator going on. This will just be a sign. Maybe we could just... Now, if we look at what we've done, if we look at our track view now, we'll see we've got our 3 layers, and we can see there's an ARP on this layer and a sequencer on this layer. So it's really cool. And if we go to our mix view now, we can see, well, we've got no effects on layer 3, but we've got our delay and our compressor, and then our reverb on layer 1. And yeah, I mean, you just go on and on. You can carry on. You can add layers. So let's set up a new init preset. So now you know how to build your kind of your basic kind of stuff. And I'm not going to go super deep into this. If you are familiar with any of my SynthMaster 2 programming tutorials, all of this stuff will apply to that as well. So they've kept the actual architecture of how the synth is programmed work. It's just massively expanded. Now I'm going to show you how you can build a patch with existing patches. So, all right, we've got oscillator 1 here, and we've got layer 1. If we go into our browser, let's choose a sound. Maybe something from, let me go look, we've got SynthMaster 1, SynthMaster 1, okay? So now we're looking at what's on SynthMaster 1. We've got drums and stuff here. We've got ARPs. Maybe we could look at plucked strings. And just have a listen. Now you will see that this is a little preview. So maybe this one. So click on it, right, and this will load that patch. If we go back to our tab view now, this is our synth. And you'll see it's using 1, 2, 3, 4. It's using five modules out of a possible 16. Let's turn that volume down a little bit. We can go to our mix view. You see there's a ton of effects on here. We can switch the effects on and off from here as well. Cool beans. So now we've got that patch, right? And that is from SynthMaster 1. Let's go back to our tab view. Let's add in another layer. So just add new layer. And don't forget, again, you start again with the possibility to add 16 or something. If you think about this, it's huge. It's huge. It's not like now it's unlimited almost, you know, what you could do. Not that you would, I mean, you probably never use 16 layers of 16. But you can add little bits and pieces, little tweaks here and there, because you can control the keyboard zoning as well, which I'll also show you. Right, what were we at? We're going to add in, we've got another layer here. Let's unmute it. And it starts with a basic sine wave, of course. So let's mute layer 1 and mess around with layer 2. Let's go into browse. Now, this procedure is important. Okay, so we go into browser. This time, let's choose one from SynthMaster 2. Okay, and maybe, I don't know, maybe a flute type patch with... And you can set your attributes and your styles, etc. Let's go down a bit. I'm going to go further down. That's one of my favorite sounds. I'm just going to add this in, okay? So add. Here's the problem. What I've just done, because I've just added that, is I have now destroyed my previous patch. Watch. Go back to tab view. Let's unmute it. So don't get fooled into thinking you can just add the patch in if you've created a new layer, because this is what will happen. You lose the work you've just done. So let's go back to adding a new layer. Let's mute this one and unsolo this. So we've got this basic kind of sine wave again. Go into browser. This time we'll go back to SynthMaster 1. We will find a patch. We'll go to mallet instruments this time. Go down, go down, go down. And... let's go down. Let's add this spring bell up. To add a patch to a layer, you right click, load on layer, and put it on layer 2. And now when we go back, we've got both our instruments and they're going to be... And you've got, of course, complete control over the synth engine now. Now, if you look at this is a wavetable. Let's look at the editing for the wavetable. I'm not going to get into this now. They have done massive tutorials, about 5 hours worth of tutorials. But you have total control over editing the frames, the waves, even the sample. It's got a full bore sample engine, okay? Anyway, look, let's close this now. You can edit absolutely everything. Let's add in a new layer. Okay, so let's unmute it. Let's solo it. let's see, we could add in this time, we could add in maybe a single cycle waveform, excuse me, or a multi-sample. It's entirely up to you. Let's add in maybe, let's load a single cycle waveform. Okay, let's give it some volume. Let's go and look at some others that might be more suitable. Okay, so this is now layer 3 we're playing around with. If we unsolo this now. But say, like, you know, we wanted to add like another filter in, we could add another filter that, we could add a diode ladder filter. Let's slap that in before the line it up like this. It makes it easier. We can just kind of drop it in then. So like this, boink. Let's make some adjustments. Let's look at the effects bus settings. So you've got, apart from all the effects you can add, you have like kind of send effects as well. So if I switch that vocoder off now, let's do that. Or maybe add in a, let's add something in on effects bus, but let's add a, what's not there? Let's add a distortion to effects bus 2. Now don't forget that these are send effects. So if we go to our mixer view now, you'll see that effects bus 2 is turned down for everything. So see, I'm overdriving that distortion now. Hear that now? And this is just because we've now so now it sounds quite cool down the bass end. What we could do is this particular sound, which is, let's see on our mix view, our whistle sound we can take out of the bottom range. So where's our whistle? Where's our whistle gone? Is it in here? I put it onto layer 1. Yeah. So layer 1. We can start to say, take this out of this keyboard zone, the bottom end. So I'll know if I've got the right one now. So now the whistle has gone from anything below, well, just below C4. So it's still above. There's an indicator if you look on the screen of where your range is. So anything below that, and that altimeter whistle is now gone. If we go to our okay. So now our bass end does not have the whistle in it. So you're basically splitting the keyboard, but wherever you like and per layer. So you could have different sounds on different parts of the keyboard. I mean, it's just so powerful. I mean, you can just go on and keep adding layers, you know. So what we added, layer 4 now. It's just okay, so you get the idea there, right? Okay, so I mean, I've pretty much covered most of the basic stuff, building sequences and that, without going into super fine detail on each particular module, like I was doing on the SynthMaster 2 tutorials. So let's do one more, shall we? Let's just initialize this patch. Of course, saving the patch is super easy. You just save, or you can save them wherever you like, you know, and then recall them as per normal. So we've got this. Let's add a bunch of layers. Oh, let's do this. Okay, let's make a few adjustments to this. Let's just random. Maybe add, you got like a bunch of different noise types as well. So let's do this. Let's make hang on a minute. What's the matter, laddie? Come on. Watson wants me to pick him up. Right. No, I'm not holding him in front of me. I've just stuck him on the chair. Right, okay. I'm going to show you something. Let's randomize again. And let's add in let me see, a formant filter. In fact, what we could do, right, what's a cool thing is, if we right click on a lot of things, we can replace it with, so now we've replaced this filter 1 filter 2 still here, it's not connected, so with this formant filter. But like I said, anytime you want, you can just go in and you can drop these any way you like. You know, you don't have to, you can have them running in parallel, series. It's the modular design of it. And we've got 2 formant filters now. So I'm going to replace this one with a phase filter. Let's add in a wave shaper as well, so we can give it some boost. And again, I'm going to just add it in after the filters, I think. Different algorithms. Right. Okay. Let's look. If we right click on this layer, right? Right click on the layer. We can copy layer 1. Let's add in a new layer. And then we can, where is it? Where's me paste? Can I copy layer to paste values? And now I think if I solo this, I've got an exact copy of layer 1. So, right, so copying everything that you do in a layer and then copying it. But this is good because what we can do is start to make a few adjustments. So we're hearing both now. Okay, but maybe I could detune layer 1 and then pan it, go back to layer 2 and then go back to layer 1, slightly detune now, control our volume, well, either here, lots of places to control your volume, these are two separate layers now, don't forget. So this means that we can apply independent effects to them as well. They're not two different oscillators, they're two completely independent layers. Layer 1, layer 2, mixed view. So for this same sound, you could say, well, okay, maybe if I go into my track view now, I actually can do it from here. Leave that as it is. I'm going to go with layer 1 and look at a sequence. I'm going to just go in and I'm just going to record something dead quick in. So, okay, so we've got 8 steps there. Stop record on that. If I play a note, now you can hear the one on the other side. It's not doing anything. Okay, very cool. So let's do some more stuff. Let's do some more cool stuff with this. Let's close our sequencer window and look now at layer. They both say layer 1, but it's because I made a duplicate. So now I'm going to go in and make another type of sequence. So let's mute layer 1. So now we're just listening to layer 2. I'm going to expand the sequence here and record something completely different in for layer. Maybe this time make it longer. So don't worry about setting all this now. You can mess around with all this once you've done it. So I'm just going to hit record and put in a bunch of notes that are slightly different from the ones we've just done, right? Okay, recorded 26 steps there. I'm going to reset this to 16 steps and hold a note. I'm going to go back to 16 steps and exit record. Don't forget to exit record. Okay. Not worrying about the mistake I made. So now, you've got 2 independent sequences. Very, very cool. And again, you can just go on and on and on adding stuff. But with these two, because we've got 2 separate layers, we might like to say, well, let's save a bit of CPU. I mean, it's not using any CPU at all. And I've got my screen recorder running, see? I'm going to add in, if we go to mix view, let's add in a effects bus, not mix view. We can just go down here and add in a delay. And I'm going to set a couple of my favorite types of delay, which are 1/8 dotted, and on this one, 1/4 dotted. And don't forget, we've got 2 different, don't forget this is effects bus 1, so we're going to send. Okay, let's Go back to tab view and look at this layer. Let's add a LFO to that. Add new LFO. No, basic LFO. Let's just pick it up here. Of course, we can assign this another way. You know, you can right click and add modulation points and stuff. You know, just pick it up and drop it on here. Again, I like to set this to global for most things because the LFO won't stop. Again, we can go in and edit the shape of the LFO. So we could say, well, okay, maybe it's, let's have it like this, and let's have this like this. Pick it up. Or, of course, just go in and choose a different... And again, you could go in and say, well, I'm going to add new layer, because what might be nice over that is some sort of drone. And of course, you could go in and choose another sound. I'm not going to go any further today because you can see how it's just, you know, you just have a lot of fun. You just have a lot of fun building all this. I am gonna, if you've watched this video premiere, by the way, thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you a, if you only use iOS, I hope it gives you a taster of what you're going to get with SynthMaster 3. Just the insane power that this thing has. I had somebody comment saying, well, you'd never use 16 layers, or you'd never use, you know, 16 oscillators, or don't forget, it's 16 oscillators or filter. It's a mixture of modules. Okay, so you can have 16 oscillators, but you couldn't have a filter. You could have 10 oscillators and have 6 filters, or 4 oscillators, 4 filters, a couple of wave shapers. You know, it's up to you. You know what I mean? You just go in absolutely crazy. It's so cool. And I showed you the keyboard zones generally, didn't I? The routing is super handy because you can choose to switch this stuff on and off. You can even switch the effects off here for this layer we're working on. Which there are no effects because it's layer 3 and we've just added it. We can go and change up the, you know, we'll bring the phase in. Other cool things we can do is just add a couple of voices in, of course, do this. I am going to play out with some of my favorite patches that I was playing around with. Not that I've made, but these are just general things that other people have made. Hang on, Watson wants to go out now. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I'm back. So I'm going to go and find my favorites here and go to, oh yeah, you can do, I mean, you can hit random, of course, and go and locate presets. Let's try another one. Right, let's look at the browser here, and I think I have a favorites, and I need to go to all. and all. Here we go. So here's some of my favorites that I've favorited. I won't play through them all, but you'll get the idea. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you're kind of excited to get SynthMaster 3 on iOS, but in the meantime, if you use desktop, Mac, PC, you know, you can get it now. And if you've got the everything bundle, then, you know, you're golden. Anyway, it has pretty much every synthesis type as well, including granular, vector, wavetable, a complete full bore sample engine. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Ta-da!